We are surrounded by spirits this evening. Echo Spirits Distillery. That's right. It's our live audience Halloween special on Whiskey Business. Welcome to Whiskey Business, a podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey.
Yeah.
Our live Halloween show inspired by our own Greg Hansberry, who loves Halloween.
He likes spooky stuff.
The Whitneys love Halloween.
Yeah, that's true.
Chip,
actually, more
do
my
you
wife.
like Halloween?
Absolutely.
Chip loves
Absolutely.
Halloween, and
Everybody
we all
loves
love Halloween. And we want to thank Echo Spirits, Joe and Nikhil, for opening up their house tonight for our live audience. Yeah. Halloween special. Cindy Riggs will be here in just a little bit. Yes. Cindy Riggs is a psychic and spiritualist and also can do remote viewing.
I'm excited about that.
Were you excited about that? Where she can actually just take your home address and tell you if it's inhabited by anyone other than you. Okay. I've heard that about mine. I'm gonna toss her my address and see if I still have spirits existing in my home, or is it? I mean, I have spirits.
Yeah, plenty
in my
of spirits.
Home.
Yeah.
Spirits in my house, but
Yeah.
but whether or not any are still present as we speak. Before we launch into everything, get Joe and Nikhil up here because earlier, for those of you who are actually not listening to the podcast, we had a little bit of a whiskey tasting. We tasted 4 great Echo Spirit products, but we left 2 out. We left the Branch and Rye, which we're going to sample with Joe and Nikhil here on the podcast, and we also
And that's going to be released tonight for the first time.
Released tonight for the very first time. Everybody here will be able to be the first on your block to walk home with it. And then we're also going to check in on our baby, which as of December 23rd will be 1 year old. What I mean by our baby is that Echo Spirits was so kind enough to let us create our own mash bill and make our own Whiskey Business barrel, our own whiskey from the ground up. So what we'll be tasting in progress, so be kind, it'll be part of the tasting, is where we're at approximately 9 months into the process. So yeah,
it's less than a year old.
Less than a year old. So you'll be able to get a sample of the nose and a little bit of the palate, and know that in the months to come, it will change dramatically before it's actually turning into bourbon after 2 years. I think we decided that we were going to go 2 years and about 3 months, just to give it a little extra.
Little kick.
And that's the bonus about being here, an exclusive tasting. Thank you for coming to this live Whiskey Business show, of course.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
When was the last time we tasted from our
I think
barrel?
we were at 5 or 6 months when we got a.
So we'll be able to taste the difference now.
We actually got the White Dog right out of the barrel, which we could have bottled up and sold right then.
That was really
that
good.
was really tasty. I mean, if we want to just go strictly moonshining, that would have been.
I don't remember tasting it.
Well,
that's
you were
because
with good reason.
It was pretty pure.
I'll believe you.
Coming right out of the gate. So my question before we get into Joe and Nikhil, quick question for all the boys is, since it's Halloween and Hansberry, this is one of your favorite holidays. My question is, give me a story. What was the most scared you've ever been as a child? And when I say child, I mean as a kid or even a teenager. From child to teenage years, what's the most you were ever frightened and worried that something bad was going to happen? I'm going to start with Chip.
Pick a number 1 to 3.
2.
Okay, it was the year between 8th and 9th grade of high school. And as you all know, you start off 9th grade going to high school. And it was that summer that it
not
was
all
a
of
summer
us.
of change. It was a summer of change, a summer of growth, a summer of learning.
Right.
A summer where we were saying goodbye to our childhood and we were entering a new phase. And this one time, it was towards the end of the summer. It was late at night. And we decided to go to Bay Village and go to the beach at Bay Village and go swimming illegally. We weren't allowed to go swimming there.
Just like a horror movie.
Yeah, and so we went down there.
You kids stay away from here.
Yes, and it was a time of year where it was kind of a little bit of rough waves coming in. Little did we know that a storm was rolling in. And when we went out into the water, a storm was rolling in. And if you've ever seen a storm on a lake, you know it's not like a storm that's like on the ocean where the waves just come crashing down. It's like a chaotic. It's like a bowl of water being jostled back and forth, and it's so scary. We were out there swimming, and my friends were able to make it back. This one tall kid, I don't remember his name, but he kind of looked like Waldo. And
Where is he?
He was out there with me, and the waves were going up and down. We were going up and down. It was huge. I said, I can't make it. I was running out of energy, and I was so scared, and I was running out of just the ability to tread water. And I go, you got to help me. And he goes up, he grabs me, tries to help me, says, I'm sorry, I can't. I got to get back. I say, go, go, go. So he left me in the water. And I was not a good swimmer, and I was not a strong swimmer. And I literally thought, this is it. I'm going to die before I can go to high school and experience high school. I was so scared. So I don't know what it was. I mustered up as much energy as I could. I let myself sink to the bottom, and I was wearing shoes, so I would walk along the bottom of the water and push off, and then swim underwater as much as I can, come up and try to breathe without getting a mouthful of water. I did get water. I did throw up. I thought I was going to die. And eventually I made it to the edge where the waves were crashing against the cliffside. And if you were by a wave, you would get smashed against the cliffside and you'd get all cut up.
Wow.
And we got beat down by these waves. And I go to the guy, let's get out of here. And as we were leaving, I go, don't tell anybody. Because it was like just the worst. And I was so scared. I really thought I was going to die. And that's the most scared I've ever been in my young adult life.
All right.
Yeah, all right, Chip.
And he's
Thanks
still
for
with us
sharing.
today.
All right.
Let's go to the other end of the spectrum, Hansberry.
Oh, you're gonna make me go after that. I was in first grade. How old are you in first grade? Like 7, 6,
9.
7? Yeah. Well, it depends. For you, you did first grade a couple times. I have 2 older sisters. I'm the youngest of 3, and for some reason, my parents had this mask. It's like an old man's mask, and it was just like from eyebrows up, like this weird, funky forehead. And then which one of the Three Stooges has like the black curly hair?
Larry?
Mo.
Yeah. No, Larry had the curly hair.
Larry.
Curly.
So it looks like Larry, right? Big black curly hair. Yeah. And one of my sisters would hold me down while the other one put the mask on their face and just would like stare, like lean over me and laugh. and it was the scaredest I've ever been.
That is terrifying.
All right.
John Whitney?
Ah, geez. So when I was really small, we were living in Texas.
Really?
And, yeah.
You lived in Texas?
Yeah. Both my parents were in the Air Force, so I was born in Texas.
I've known you for 30
didn't
years.
know
I never
that.
knew you were from Texas.
Me too. I didn't know that. I've known you for 35
That's
years.
very frightening information to get at this point in our lives.
scary.
Right?
I lived there like 4 years.
Now I'm scared.
3 years.
What's your middle name?
Edward.
That's why you had to move out of Texas.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so my brother and I were wandering around. It was a new build area, and there was a lot of like septic tanks that were being installed in these houses, outside the houses. So it was concrete, kind of a round septic tank, and we were there with my dog Friday, of course.
Great dog name.
Great dog name. And we're just kind of wandering, my brother and I, and we decide we're going to climb down inside of one of these septic tanks. Of course, it's just concrete. There's nothing inside. I'm not swimming around in shit.
Thanks for clarifying.
Not yet. So, because we're dumb kids, we didn't realize that we couldn't climb back out. So I swear this has really happened. Our dog went and got my dad.
No.
Yeah.
Your dog pulled a lassie?
Oh yeah.
Friday.
And we were so scared that we were going to get in trouble and that we were going to be there forever and we'd starve to death or whatever. And so my dad comes and he pulls us out. Our dog is with him, and we get out. And about 2 hours later, there was a really bad thunderstorm.
Oh man!
And it probably went up about about a foot. You know, it wasn't a bunch of rain, but still, I like to say I could have drowned.
Yeah, you could
So
have.
you can drown in inches of water.
Inches of water. It's the dog saved our life.
man.
Friday.
Friday.
Friday the
his
dog.
girl
Friday.
Friday.
Yes.
Was it a boy? Was Friday a boy or a girl dog?
It's a boy dog.
Boy dog.
His
What
boy
is it, Friday?
Friday.
What's up, boy?
That's right.
There's trouble?
It's trouble.
John and Gil are in trouble?
Fell down a well.
You
Not a
did.
well,
You
a
literally
septic
fell down
tank?
a well. You did,
Yeah.
just like Lassie.
True story. True
Oh, my
story.
God.
Excellent.
All right, Dino. All of us went. Let's hear your story.
Mine is more actually Halloweenish.
Paranormal?
It took place in October in Steubenville, Ohio. Right before Halloween, there were a bunch of us guys between 12 and 13 years of age, and we always heard that our church, the Greek Orthodox Church, was haunted by spirits, if you will. Of course, we didn't try to conjure up any of the religious spirits. No, somebody had come across, I don't remember, I think it might have been Tony Majanis, it might have been Mike Kellis, I don't know, but somebody had come up with a book of spells to conjure up spirits, if you will. And what we decided to do was conjure up the spirit of Goody Proctor. Goody Proctor was actually her name was Elizabeth Proctor, and she was accused of being a witch during the Salem witch trials. She was saved from being executed because she was pregnant. Her husband, John Proctor, on the other hand, he was executed, and, you know, he couldn't use that as a defense. I'm pregnant too. No, not going to work. But Goody Proctor, Elizabeth Proctor, was supposedly saved, but then eventually died. So what we were going to do was bring up the spirit, the evil spirit of Goody Proctor. And what you had to do was, after that somebody read the spell, everybody had to hold hands and go around in a circle and say, "I believe in Goody Proctor." And supposedly she would show up in the mirror that was in the place. You would see the spirit of Goody Proctor.
It's like Bloody Mary, kind of.
Kinda.
yeah.
So everybody in the round would say, like, you know, "I believe in Goody Proctor. I believe in Goody Proctor." And there were about 7 of us. "I believe in Goody Proctor." And I was the last one. "I believe in Goody Proctor." And as it got more intense and more intense, I was literally shaking, scared to death. When it finally got to me, I said, I believe in Betty Crocker. Which completely screwed up the whole spell, apparently.
Yeah.
You saved everybody's life.
Yeah, you
And then Mrs. Majanis came in with brownies. It was amazing. But that was the most scared I've ever been. I thought for sure that we were going to conjure up a witch, and man, we were done.
That's funny.
All right.
We should call each other Goody more often.
Goody.
I like that.
Goody.
Goody.
Goody,
Yes,
goody,
Goody
goody.
Tripodis.
All right, speaking of goody,
Well, we're gonna get out of here
Let's get out of here,
let's get
and
out
let's
of
bring in Joe and Nikhil from Echo Spirits
go.
and try these last 2 whiskeys. Talk about spooky. And then coming up, Cindy Riggs will be joining us and get things even a little spookier, perhaps. Gentlemen, thank you for the earlier tasting. Those were fantastic whiskeys. We will definitely brag about those and let everybody know that they're available. But we have 2 left before it's all said and done, and one of them is being tasted for the very first time this evening. Is that my
Tonight.
as far as the public is concerned?
This is our 2020 made today.
Made today.
Made today. This is our 2024 release of Branch and Rye. It's our apple cider kind of fall ready to drink cocktail.
So this is a ready-made cocktail?
It's a ready-made cocktail. Apple cider, rye whiskey, bitters, a little bit of sweetener. What proof did it wind up being at?
72 proof.
72 proof.
72 proof. Hansberry, you could drink that. It's
Yeah.
72
You
proof.
can even handle it.
Yeah, even
Thanks,
Hansberry
guys.
can handle that.
72. That's
So what are we looking at here as far as...
I have not tasted it myself yet.
Are you scared? Are you scared?
I'm a little scared. It's kind of a
Oh, man,
audience.
so all you
got
got to do is pour this over ice and go.
Pour it over ice and go, right? Ready to go. So it's definitely, right now you're tasting it warm, it's not chilled, it's not diluted, not over ice, that kind of thing. So it brings it back down, chills it. But yeah, it's the feeling of fall. It's that campfire cocktail.
This is a fall treat.
It's a fall treat.
This is very good. This is
very
this
good.
is almost too tasty. Because even at 72 proof.
I had an incident with last year's rendition of it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
Yeah, it's just dangerous. You can drink
Yeah,
it.
I mean, 72 proof. If you drink enough of it, will still it'll catch up.
It
to
does
it.
just
great.
fine. Yeah.
This is good. They have like the already mixed old fashioned stuff, but this is cool because you have something to bring to like a holiday, mixer.
It's different. You can it's something you can bring to the gathering, and it's cocktails for everybody. It's ready to go, but it's not just an old fashioned. It's a I don't know, fall old fashioned.
Normally, I don't like a really sweet drink, but if I do want something sweet and I can drink a few of them, this would be it. This would be right here. This would be the way to go.
There we go.
This is great to bring for the holidays.
Branch and
Now,
rye.
how much of this is available?
I think we did 100 bottles this year.
Only 100 bottles.
100 bottles.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I could get in trouble with this.
Come get your Thanksgiving bottles early, folks.
That's right. And of course, you could buy them right here at the bottle shop.
That's right. Right here at the bottle shop at Ag Experience.
Okay. The branch and rye. Were you calling it anything, or is it just branch and rye?
It's branch and rye apple. The idea is that maybe we'll have branch and rye peach, branch and rye strawberry, different kind of flavors for the different seasons.
But it's got rye whiskey in it, which is makes it good for me. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Be kind. Be gentle. We're getting the first sniff and taste of our whiskey business barrel, Ink and Cigarettes,
Ink and cigarettes.
which was a name we just came up with on the fly, comedically speaking.
Yeah.
But the longer time passes, the more I like the name Ink and Cigarettes, especially when Nikhil told me that there was, when as far as the taste, there were some tobacco notes in it. Thank God there's no ink.
Doesn't taste like
No. I believe the alternative name, the backup name, was single barrel double oak barrel proof.
It was big,
5
long
grain,
name. Yeah.
4 weeded.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
too long for a
Bourbon
label.
straight whiskey.
We
Something.
tried to get pretty
But
complicated with it.
it's I'll tell you right off the bat, he told me ahead of time, and he's absolutely right. The nose is completely different from any nose of any whiskey I've ever sampled in my entire life.
That's good.
It's I hate to
Yeah.
use the word,
Do
but
it.
I gotta
You can go
use
ahead
it.
and say
You gotta.
It smells cheesy.
It smells like cheese.
It smells like a little bit of cheese.
I was gonna say vinegar and cigarettes.
Vinegar.
I don't know why.
So I'm not. While I'm not crazy about the
I
nose.
smell Swiss cheese.
You smell Swiss
Right.
cheese.
Swiss cheese.
Swiss, yeah.
I smell.
We were saying Parmesan.
More
but Swiss,
Parmesan.
I think,
Close.
I think
Close.
Swiss might be better.
I smell Asiago.
Yeah.
Which
Strangely.
which as far as a nose
Nacho.
is amazing as far as a nose. But here comes the
We're
true
really
test.
selling it.
Forget the nose and let's go. Let's go. Remember, be kind.
Plug your nose and drink it.
It's only 9 months old. Here we go. Oh,
Doesn't taste like cheese.
Something's happening.
oh.
Ooh, it's more scotchy than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
What's that? The barley?
So let's frame the mash bill here maybe because it's a little bit unique, right? 51.8% blue corn.
That might be the
I think
the
it's
cheese factor.
I think it's the blue corn coming in
Yeah.
there. 33 rye, 11 wheat, and just under 4% barley. So it is a 4 grain, but that blue corn, we don't know what that's
It makes
gonna
it
do.
different. It's
It
different.
makes a difference.
It makes it a little sweeter, a little warmer. Yeah.
I gotta have this on a rocks with a grilled cheese and tomato sandwich. Gotta love it.
There we go.
Bloody Mary.
All right, be honest.
all
All right, it's only 9 months old. It's gonna change
Yeah.
before it's 2 years old. But if you had to drink it right now, would you continue to drink it? Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see with an ice cube.
All right.
Now, Joe and Nikhil, I know it's hard. I don't know. Is it easy or hard to predict? What's it gonna taste like as it ages? Like, what are we gonna get more of? What are we gonna lose?
That's a hard one. You know, back in our home brewing days, we got really good at that. You taste the wort fresh out of the mash.
Gross.
And you knew exactly what the final product was going to taste like. We're still working on that here. We're still getting good at that. I do think that cheese note's going to temper a little bit. All of the highs are going to kind of squeeze together a little bit. That barrel character, it's going to filter things out. You're going to get more of the oak, more of the vanilla, caramel. It is going to move toward a more traditional bourbon, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's going to be Kentucky bourbon or anything.
We tasted it 3 times. I think this is my least favorite of the 3. I got to be honest.
It's getting worse.
Well,
It definitely
only to
tasted
get
really
better.
good right out of the gate, actually.
You can't get better when you start at the
No,
top.
actually,
you know?
The day is darkest before
Actually,
the dawn.
like I
Greg.
said, I would have bottled up the White Dog right then and there.
Yeah.
I like this one better than the second tasting.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Personally,
Yeah.
I
That-
do.
that makes a lot of sense,
I like this one better than the second tasting that we had, and I have both. I have samples of both still at home, but I enjoyed this one. But I got to admit, for lack of a better description, the cheese nose. In all the whiskey tastings I've ever had, I'm picking up Parmesan cheese.
You need to pair
which
it.
isn't bad. I love Parmesan cheese,
it's
but I
great.
don't expect it in a whiskey.
No, pair it with some ravioli.
It's a cheese
Oh,
nose.
it's an Italian bourbon. Do you know?
an
it?
Italian
Yeah.
bourbon.
I'll sell it all.
The
I'll sell
first
it
of
all
its
to the club as
kind.
Italian Club. All right. Well, thank you again for housing and helping us create this whiskey, and I'll be very excited to see where it is at 1 year. And then we'll do probably another tasting at 1.5 years, and before you know it, we'll be doing another podcast
Putting it out into
celebrating
the world.
this whiskey. Yeah, right here at
absolutely.
Echo Spirits.
Anything else we need to know about the bar before we head out? What do you guys
Oh,
got
there
coming
is
up?
there is a featured cocktail tonight. It's called It's Alive, and it's just for tonight's whiskey business. What's in that?
It uses both our rye and bourbon, kumquat liqueur, lavender bitters, and ginger beer.
Cool.
Delicious.
So try and It's Alive before it's all said and done. Don't forget to tip your bar staff before it's all said and done as well as we continue on with our Whiskey Business Podcast. Joe Nikhil, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
nice big round of applause for Joe Nikhil at Echo Spirits. Buy their products before you leave this evening.
And the bar will be open during the podcast, so if you want to hop over and make sure you get a fresh cocktail, that'd be great.
And please give a warm, warm welcome for our very special guest for tonight, Cindy Riggs, psychic and spiritualist,
Thank you.
who was actually here before I was even here. You came down very early. You were ready
did,
to
I did.
go.
Yeah.
You were ready to go and ready
I didn't
to.
know what traffic would be like.
How do you not know what traffic's going to be like? You figure, you would figure that you would know ahead of time
funny.
how traffic's going to be.
Yeah, you would think so.
You would think so.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of a fun question, and I'm sure you get it all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
the people, you can't anticipate traffic jams. You can't anticipate things like that. Do you get a
Well,
sense, a feeling like
I
maybe
do
I
get
shouldn't
it.
go right now?
I do get a sense, and I left at a time where I felt as though I need to leave now, because there was heavy traffic in the beginning.
Okay, so what
But-
you did, you anticipated that it might have been
I
if you would have
did.
left when you wanted to leave, it might have been worse, and you would have taken even longer to get here.
Right.
So
Didn't
you
want
erred
to
on
be
the
late.
side of caution.
Didn't want to be late. But what I can use my intuition for, which is really helpful, is while I'm driving, I can tell, okay, that person's going to cut me off. That person's going to exit really quickly. I can tell that's going to happen. And that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That's like defensive driving at its best.
It is, yeah. It is.
Truly. Yeah. And
But I really have to be, focused, tuned in.
well, yeah.
And I can do that.
As well you should be because nobody else is. There's so much distracted driving going on. People
Exactly.
on their phones, no matter what, that you probably
Exactly.
need the heads up about that
Right.
on a regular basis. So you mentioned an interesting word, which I connect to people with your ability.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I'm a believer or a disbeliever, but what I do believe in wholeheartedly, because I've used it in my previous careers, is insight and intuition. Intuition is a huge part of your gift, right?
Yes.
And when did you first realize that you had this ability, this ability to be a psychic, to have intuition, to have the ability to actually see things that anybody in this room doesn't see?
I was about 30.
30.
Yeah. Now,
seems
I
late in
had
life,
some...
Seems late in life to develop
True.
that gift.
True. But I was attuned to Reiki, and if anybody knows what Reiki is, it's a healing system, energy healing. And all of a sudden, it opened up my awareness. Now, I had some experiences as a child, but I didn't really think anything about that. I didn't think, oh, I'm psychic and I'm going to do something with this. I never thought that.
So what moment in life actually made you decide, like, this is what I want to do and this is who I want to be to help other people? When did that? What happened?
It was that moment, 1996, I believe. I was attuned to Reiki. So you take a Reiki class, the person does something to your energy field, which makes you be able to transmit energy to heal people. And then I started seeing and hearing things.
Like what?
Like I had visions and I was hearing messages in the middle of the night mostly. And I started writing them down. And then when I woke up in the morning, I would read it and I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I didn't make this up. I know I didn't make this up. But I was just listening to these words and writing them down and not worrying if they were going to make a sentence. And then I read them in the morning, and there were some things I had to look up in a dictionary because I didn't know what it meant. So I'm like,
it wasn't dreams. It was your
No, I was
hearing words.
Hearing. That was the first skill. A lot of people call these gifts, but I call it skills.
Well, why do you differentiate between the two? Because is it not a gift?
It is, but I think we all have it.
See, I believe that too. I believe
do.
that we all have the gift of intuition.
We do.
And that people
But then
like
we
yourselves,
can develop the skills of
Exactly.
clairvoyance or seeing, clairaudience or hearing, clairsentience or feeling, or knowing.
People like yourselves, it's higher developed, or is it something that you embrace to develop?
Do you practice? Do you work out?
Yes.
No, I mean,
No, really.
I know
You do have to practice.
You're being funny, but there's probably some truth to that. There's probably some.
And you have to do a lot of meditation. And you have to get out of your head so that this stuff can come into you.
You got to get out of your own head to get into somebody else's head. Right? I mean, in essence.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of, yes.
Okay. So, when did you actually start doing this for a living?
I believe it was 96.
96,
it was
right then?
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started. I was able to speak to people's spirit guides, which is something we could talk about if you want.
Yeah, let's talk about it right now. How do you do that? How do you talk to spirit guides?
Well, I can just hear them.
You hear them.
I can
is a
see
spirit
them and
guide,
hear
first
them.
of all?
Spirit guides are spirits that are assigned to us when we're born. They're
Guardian
assigned,
angel?
or
Or is that different?
guardian angels are a little bit different.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So spirit guides have once been human, and in my experience, spirit guides are people that we've known in other lifetimes.
I think my spirit guide's taking a break.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Because I was just going to ask, can you tell someone or suggest to somebody who their spirit guide might be? All right,
Yes.
can you do that with me?
I can.
Who's my spirit guide?
Okay, so you have about 6 of them.
Wow.
Everybody
Wow.
has.
You need that
everybody
many,
has.
huh?
I do. I need a lot of guidance.
No doubt.
Everyone has about 6 of them.
All right.
In my experience, what I see. So guides, show yourselves. And so what I'm doing is I'm using my third eye, which you've probably heard that term.
My father used to tell me that we as Tripodices had the gift of the third eye. I'm not
Well,
kidding
you
you.
probably do. You
He
probably
said that
do.
he said that we had a third eye.
Yes.
That was able to see
Everyone
past.
has a third eye.
Everybody has a third eye that we
Yes.
were able, but we had a highly developed third eye that was able to see past what was in front of you and go further to see what was behind it.
Okay, I'm going to tell everybody how to use their third eye right now. All right?
All right.
Even with your eyes open as you're looking
public?
at us. You know what your kitchen looks like, don't you?
Yes.
That's your third eye. That's your mind's eye. Everybody, anyone who can see that right now or imagine that has an open third eye. Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Go, Chip.
Okay, so that's really interesting because it just blew my mind. Like, what if had you asked, like, when I opened the front door of my childhood home, I always remember this exactly what table is sitting right there. End table is right there. I remember it in detail. I've never forgotten it. In fact, I use it as like a memory device for memorizing stuff. Does that have anything to do with this third eye? Or even though it doesn't exist now, it only exists in my memory, what is going on there?
So you're using it as a tool for something. So I don't know how to express that our imagination's our most powerful psychic tool. And I'm also a hypnotist or hypnotherapist, so I use a lot of imagining and visualizing because your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So you're using that as a tool, and that's excellent. That's an excellent use of a memory.
Bravo, Chip. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you very much.
But when
Well
when people are remembering traumatic things, that's not an excellent use of imagination or memory.
Okay, I want to come back to that.
Yeah,
Because,
okay, back to your spirit guides.
Well, no,
Or-
because I do have a tendency, either in my dreams or even in the present, there's traumatic moments that that come back and visit longer
Yes,
than
yeah.
they should,
They do.
for lack of a better description.
And they do because they come up so we can process them and let go of them. But if we keep letting that replay and we're not actually doing the work to process it, then it's going to still be in there.
That's interesting
Yeah.
and sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to work with people to help them to heal.
And you
those
can do
things.
that.
Yes.
You can help people dismiss those traumatic memories and
I-
put them away forever. Because
yes.
that seems hard to do. If it's part of your memory forever.
Well, you can't forget it, but you can release the emotional attachment to it.
For someone like me, like
Interesting.
it just sounds like a lot of work. I mean,
Okay.
can you just hypnotize
Yes.
me and say, forget this? Or I mean,
No.
or am I
No.
just sugar?
No, we actually before the podcast we talked about hypnosis, and she asked me, "Have you ever considered hypnosis?" And I've tried to be hypnotized, and the conclusion was, and I don't doubt it, is because I was potentially too strong-willed to seriously stubborn is another
Imagine
word.
that.
As a,
Oh man.
to get in because I tried hypnosis to quit smoking. I tried acupuncture. I tried hypnosis.
Oh, did you?
I tried everything to quit, eat cold turkey. But hypnosis was not kicking in, and obviously there's something about me that I have to release in order to be properly
Well, you
hypnotized.
have to be truly ready
Ready.
to stop smoking.
Stop smoking and to be hypnotized, I would imagine.
That's
too.
right.
You gotta
You
be
have to
willing.
be open to that.
Let me go back to the spirit guides.
Okay.
We'll come back to the trauma a little bit later.
Sure.
Because
We'll be
We don't have
it's,
We
it's
don't have to
always
go-
there.
We don't have to come back to the trauma.
But the six, I did not know that we had 6 spirit. I don't even know.
Well, everybody's different, but it's basically a group like that.
Okay. So
Like a half a
who do you
dozen.
see as my spirit guides? I'm
Okay.
very curious.
What I would like to find is the one that's easiest for you to communicate with, or the one that like jumps out at me the most. And there is a male on your left side. He's kind of like right behind your left shoulder. And let me see what he will tell me his name is. You can call him Lyle.
Lyle.
And Lyle, how do you know Dino? How are you connected? He was my son, and where and when? Sweden, in the late 1700s. And he has spirit guides are people that lived and died, and they became enlightened, and now he is in a stage of enlightenment that he can guide you. And the way that he guides you is he tries to give you messages if you'll hear them, and he also supports whatever you're choosing.
So they don't have to be a relation. They
No.
just be anybody.
No,
Could be
not no one
anybody.
you would know in this
Gotcha.
lifetime. Right. No, it's
So my first spirit guide is a guy named Lyle.
Lyle is the
Lyle
name he gave me.
from Sweden.
From Sweden,
And
yeah.
he was my
And
father.
He was your father.
So I was a little Swedish boy
Yes.
back in the day.
I believe it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's obvious by your eyebrows.
All right, that's one. That's one spirit.
That's one. Now I usually stop there.
You don't have to give me all
with people.
6.
No, and I usually stop there because I want to teach you how to communicate with that guide. In a session we would do that.
You and Lyle will be buddies.
I've never
Yeah,
known
you and
anybody
Lyle.
named Lyle ever in my entire life.
no, now you do.
Now I do.
And then I would teach you how to establish yes and no with Lyle, and then you can start asking him questions about lots of things in your life.
Oh man.
Okay, cool. I'm in.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's amazing. When I met my first guide, it changed my life. Because then I'm like,
Do me next.
do me.
If it changed your life,
You hear a lot, don't you? Do me.
do me. Yeah.
Do me next. Do
All
me
right.
next.
I won't ask you to do me every time.
I bet you're not going to get a Lyle.
No.
The only Lyle I ever knew was Lyle Wagner from the Carol Burnett Show. That was it. That was as far as I go. Oh, and Lyle Lovett.
Yeah, Lyle Lovett.
Lyle Lovett.
Lyle
Okay.
Lozado.
I don't know any
football
Lyles
player.
either.
All right.
My mom met
just-
Lyle.
Lyle the
Lovett
Crocodile.
No.
All right.
We have to remember that guides don't really have names. They're just giving us a name that matches their vibrational
And he
frequency.
chose Lyle?
He chose Lyle.
Okay. All right.
He did.
He was
All
not
right.
a popular child.
All right.
I don't even know if that's a Swedish name.
Lyle.
It doesn't matter.
Give Greg his.
Sure, you
his
didn't
All
say
right.
Kyle. Okay.
He didn't say Kyle.
Okay.
no.
I'm just double checking.
Okay, Greg.
Oh,
okay,
man.
guides, show yourselves. And, okay, there's a female on your right
yeah, it
side.
is.
And what did he say?
Nothing.
Be serious.
I'm serious. I'm serious.
The female on the right side is interesting. Actually, the male on the left side is interesting because our left side is our feminine side. We all have a feminine and a masculine side. And then to have a female on the right side, those are both helping to balance both of you. So back to Greg. And so what name, she has kind of a strange look to her, so I'm going to ask her something that is very important that everybody learns tonight, and that is, are you from the light? Okay. And so she's got very long, dark hair. It's kind of wavy and very, very dark brown. And she says she was your sister.
Wow.
Where and when? Looks like, oh, this is some kind of Oregon Trail lifetime situation.
Wow.
I used to play that when I was in fourth grade.
You did?
Yeah, Oregon Trail.
The video game.
Wait, did she say she was from the light?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Yes. I wouldn't talk with her further if
Oh,
she was
good,
if she
good,
were
thanks.
not.
Okay.
So she said she was your sister, but what she's showing me, she doesn't look very healthy, but she's showing me how she
That tracks.
Sounds about
she
right.
died. She died from an illness.
Oh, Greg.
I never did do well on
On this-
Oregon Trail. I ran out of food halfway across
Got
the
a
country.
Yellowstone situation.
But anyway,
we're in.
she agreed to be your guide in this
Well, thank you.
lifetime.
Thank
Yes.
you.
And she actually helps you with creative stuff.
Oh, that's my.
With creative
Did you say her
ideas.
name? You didn't say her name.
Oh,
did
I
you?
didn't get a name, did I?
Did she? Okay,
No.
that's fine.
What
Sure.
name can she? What
Hang
name
on,
can
hang on.
Greg use for you?
Yeah, Lyle's already taken.
Sheila
Sheila.
is the name.
That
I'm
makes
hearing.
sense.
Makes sense. How does that
was
make
like,
sense?
I just felt that was it.
I'm actually kind of jealous.
Did you get that name too?
I did. Well, when you said it, it makes complete
Yeah.
sense because it's kind of like, Sheila is an Australian name of a Sheila, of a girl that's
Oh,
traveling
yeah.
across the country,
yeah.
trying to make a new life for herself.
I'm gonna
in
call
America.
her Goody Sheila.
Goody Sheila.
All right.
Don't do that, man. Don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Don't mess with it. She's watching over you creatively.
Yes, she is. She's actually giving you creative ideas and
Okay.
inspiration.
Cool.
And thus
So
the black nail
like a
polish
muse.
on his fingernails, ladies and gentlemen.
She's like a muse.
Thanks, Sheila.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna dig into the name Lyle and see. I am seriously to see what pops up. I find this all very fascinating. I don't know, and I apologize in advance. I don't know how much to invest in it. It's
up to you.
I mean, what do you
up to
do
you.
when you come across, for lack of a better word, the skeptics?
Well, I don't come across too many skeptics because they're coming into my office
coming
and
into your
paying
office.
me to see
okay.
me, right?
But those
So-
people say like, "Oh, you're a psychic." That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's
You
fine.
just dismiss
I'm
them?
not gonna try to make you believe in it, because
Because I've run across people that say,
Oh,
"Well,
sure.
you need if you're." I've run across people that do what you do and have been a little bit more proactive,
Oh.
saying that like, if you don't believe, here I need to let me tell you how you can believe. They try to convert,
do they? I
Yeah.
don't do that.
so you don't
I
do
don't.
that.
I don't. That's a lot of energy, and if-
Wasted energy.
well, it takes a lot of my energy to try to convert somebody. So why would I do that if they don't? Because everybody has free will to choose what they believe, and so I can't prove it
Right.
or disprove it.
Or disprove it. Right.
So I'm not going to try to convince somebody. I'll just say, okay, that's fine.
We also earlier, because you got here early and we were just killing some time. You also, Cindy is also available for tarot card readings. People
Oh,
do
yeah, I
the,
got
people do the tarot cards.
She's got books and stuff too.
I brought my Halloween cards.
You brought the
today.
Halloween cards.
They're very nice.
We got books as well that are for sale. We're
Yeah, so-
nowhere close to done. But I just want people
No,
to know
I know,
that
but
in
I want to
advance.
mention that 2 of my books are channeled. And so the
Are what?
first thing, because I developed my ability to hear first,
Let me have a
I
couple of the books.
began channeling. So
Ghost
yeah,
Rider.
those 2, John. Those yeah.
Oh, give me all of them.
Ghost Rider. That's pretty good.
right?
No.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, so these 2 books, Buddha Speaks and Vishnu Speaks, are actually channeled books. Because the first thing I was able to develop was the ability to channel, which, if you want to be spooked out, some of you, I allow spirits to possess me and speak through me.
Oh,
now,
no.
only high-level
Only the
spirits.
ones from the light.
These are gods. Vishnu is a god. He's a Hindu god. Buddha is an ascended master. So
Do you seek them out, or how do you know? How do you, how do you?
most of them have just approached me, and I have
lucky.
not yet.
That's
cool.
Thousands of beings I've channeled over the years.
And
Now,
again,
Keep the good
now
ones.
this is my newest book,
this is your newest one. I got to
and
call
that's
you
me
out.
talking in
Yeah.
this book.
Because I don't think this is a word until
It's-
now.
I made it up.
Yeah,
It's
you made it a word. Commandifestation.
Commandifestation. Commanding manifestation.
That's a new word.
Thank you.
And
It just
what's-
came to me one day, and I'm like, "That's brilliant! Whoever gave me that, thank you." Because I get information. It wasn't Lyle.
What is?
No.
So you can just by the title alone, I'm saying you can command your manifest destiny.
Yep.
You can.
Yes.
You can determine
I suggest
your
that
life is gonna go.
I just suggest that we command rather than pretty please.
so demand it as opposed to
Yep. Yep.
huh.
It works. This is kind of like my whole career in one book. Everything that I've learned, everything that I teach, everything that I believe is the most powerful, including one special thing at the end that is the key to commandifesting what you
It's
want.
at the end.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah, because you got to get through your blocks and other
Yeah,
stuff.
you got to do
first.
everything else.
That traumatic stuff.
Skip to the last page.
Okay, no, I'm
Dino,
not gonna
skip to
skip
the
to
last page.
No. You can. You can do whatever you want. You have free will.
But I will tell you this much: that chapter 10 is command fest beyond your wildest dreams. So this might be worth.
Yeah,
worth the
beyond
purchase.
your
Beyond
wildest
your
dreams.
wildest dreams.
Meaning, because, can I just tell you? a
Yeah,
little
tell
bit?
us, please.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about it. I'm so passionate about it. Because your mind is only 5% of your consciousness, and your soul is the other 95%. But it doesn't speak to you in your mind. It speaks to you in knowings and intuition and visions and hearing words. And that's how I teach you how to get in touch with that, so you can get
So you can listen more to yourself.
your soul.
Your
Yeah,
soul,
your true
right.
self.
Your true self.
That has like your life's blueprint.
So do you think that we are guilty of not listening to our true selves and our soul on a daily basis?
Yes, because our society teaches us that, knowledge is power, and we should be developing our, intellect, and,
Which is nothing wrong with developing
nothing.
your intellect.
No, absolutely
nothing
not.
wrong with that. But,
But not really leading with the ego or the inner critic. Leading with your true self, your passion, not what you think you want. Because what we think we want is only a small percentage of what is possible.
because of these things that you mentioned here, because of things that we're not doing, how much do you think people were actually defeating themselves on a daily basis because they're
my
not?
gosh.
No, seriously.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. We're all in our own way.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put
What's
it.
the difference between a coincidence and like
question.
knowing
And knowing,
or whatever
First of
you're
all, there's
saying?
some people
You know,
that don't.
like,
There's some people that don't believe
I don't believe in
in
coincidence.
coincidences. Me either.
No, I think that
Oh,
everything
what a
happens.
coincidence.
that's funny.
So you're a
I don't.
fatalist. You're a
I don't. I
fatalist.
do not believe in a coincidence.
You're a fatalist. You believe in fate.
I do. I do.
But
I-
isn't it,
if-
the
if
definition
you
of a fatalist is a little different
if
than
you
what,
define fate as divine order.
All right.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't-
like
so why don't you believe
everything's orchestrated as it's meant to be.
why don't you believe in coincidence?
I do.
Oh, you do believe
Oh,
in
I
coincidence.
absolutely
Oh, I
do,
say I
yeah.
don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't believe in coincidence. No. Huh. I don't.
Okay, that's all right.
No, but
You don't
but-
have to.
No, tell me why you do though. And maybe it'll change my mind.
Because I believe in divine order. I believe
So you
that
think divine order is
everything
associated with
orchestrated.
coincidence?
Yes, but when it comes to commandifestation or law of attraction, we can influence the flavor with what's actually slated to happen.
I think you could use the same argument.
Ooh,
For
somebody's
not
got a
believing-
question.
For not believing in
We
coincidence.
have a hand
Yeah.
raising. Doug.
Oh,
thanks,
hang on a
Doug.
second. Hang on.
We're
let me
gonna
to
get
the
a microphone over to you. Hold on.
Let me
one
get a
second.
microphone. I
All
got
right.
a question from the audience, ladies and gentlemen. Hang
All
on one
right.
second. Here we go.
So how do you explain deja vu? Is that
Ooh,
something that
yes.
please?
Good question. Thank you.
That is a
Deja
good
vu is
point.
a future memory. You, most of us travel outside of our body, or our essence leaves our body while we're sleeping. So you are, whoops.
That's a
Sorry.
first time in front of a microphone. It's okay, Cindy.
It's not. But so let's say this is the timeline of your life that you're living now, and when you are asleep, you like jump to a point in the future, and then when you go back, and then you finally get to that point, you remember it. It's usually pretty like random and mundane, isn't it? Yeah, but it's actually a future memory. You've jumped to a point in the future.
I've never
And
known
then
that it's a future memory, not something from your past.
Glitch in
Right.
the matrix.
It is a glitch in the matrix.
That is crazy. We got another question back here, Dino. If that's
Okay.
okay.
Go ahead, take another
Great.
question, and then we're going to get to something.
Hey, go ahead and say your name and where you're from.
Well, Elliot from Columbus, Ohio.
All
All
right.
right.
And
Okay, welcome.
Thank you
First-time
for joining
caller.
us, Elliot.
Thank you. I totally believe in spirit guides and things like that.
Cool.
But my question is, what happens when you're with someone sexually? Are they talking to each other? Do they judge you? Are they looking away?
what are your
what's
spirit
thoughts on
guides
that?
doing?
Yeah, because you're mixing with her
A
spirit
lot of
guides,
awkward
and they're
moments,
like,
yeah.
"What's going on here? Who's the asshole?"
That's a good question. Really. A lot of people ask that question. Are they judging me? Are they, what do they think about this or that? Every spirit outside of the human experience has no ego, so therefore no capacity for judgment. There's
Interesting.
absolutely no judgment whatsoever.
You said that earlier on. You said they'll try to guide you, but they're cool with whatever you do.
Yeah.
They go along with every decision you make.
So when people say, is my spirit guide mad at me? I'm like, no, they don't have the capacity for that. Or is my spirit guide trying to tell me something? Did I tell me what I'm supposed to do? And there's no supposed to.
Sure.
So the spirit guide is trying to urge you in a direction, but it's really, it can't control you.
Can spirit guides keep evil from you? Because
That's a good question.
And because this has happened in my house. I've had friends do this. They've saged the house
Yes. Mm-hmm.
in order to remove darkness from the house. So, what is your whole thought on evil spirits that inhabit a home or life? Because this is going to lead up to our next little
Right.
topic about remote viewing. I mean, how does evil enter? Do we allow evil to enter? Does it
Enter your
enter a
house
life, enter
or
a life, a house, a
enter
a situation,
Your body?
whatever the case might be.
I am a Ghostbuster.
Are you a Ghostbuster as well? Seriously? You got the
I
proton packs and
I
everything?
don't need
No,
the
you don't
proton
need a
pack,
proton
no.
pack.
Who you gonna call?
No.
We
And
ain't got the bottle goose.
what I want to say about sage is a lot of people use sage to clear.
I don't know if this is that good.
It's good for
Does it
like
work?
negative energy in a pillow or a curtain.
Okay.
But it's not gonna.
It's not gonna
really
chase away evil.
spirits.
Like I'm evil. That's all you got is sage. Really? See, I'm evil. I'm the devil incarnate. You gonna light some sage and get me the hell out of here? No, try again. It's not gonna work. It's not that easy.
I have different techniques for that.
Good.
Yeah.
But you asked about evil,
Evil in general.
and what I prefer to say is lower frequency consciousness, because I'm not sure I believe in evil per se.
If you
Depends
believe in-
on your definition of evil. I have seen some nasty stuff. I have seen some creatures that were not human.
Okay. So what do you call
So
them?
most people would call them demons. I just call them low frequency consciousness, and I know where
So
to
you
send
belittle
them.
them. No, you belittle them. You don't give them credit for
frequency.
being what they are. You're not a
what my wife
demon. You're
calls
not
me all
evil.
the
You're
time.
just a low frequency consciousness.
No, but see,
How dare you?
You low
if I were to look at something and think it is demonic,
Right.
and be afraid of it, that would just give it energy. That would just give it power. It's interesting because my ghost busting work happened so synchronistically. I would have never pursued that ever. But the first time I was called to do something, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to go do it, because I can hear my guides. I'm like, tell me what to do. And I got the poltergeist activity to stop. And I cleared a bunch of stuff.
Go back 1 second. What was the poltergeist? What was the poltergeist activity for starters? I know there was a movie about it, but what was your specific poltergeist activity?
It was at a business that had a machine shop.
Okay.
There was also an antique car collection in there,
All right.
and nuts and bolts were appearing in midair and pelting people.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
So is a poltergeist always evil?
They're the ornery
Or
ones,
just
right?
So
Mischievous.
poltergeist really is a German word that means noisy ghost.
Okay.
German?
Really. I
that what you said?
I believe it's
Yes,
German.
jawohl.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Das ist German.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So geist is ghost. And so after I had to clear that place 3 times because of this activity, I mean, this guy was wearing a helmet because he was being pelted with
Yeah.
stuff that was just. And this one guy said, I saw a nut appear in midair and go right for his head. I'm like, that's crazy. But anyway, it wasn't a ghost doing it. It was a very depressed, negative person who was working there, and that thought energy was creating that kind of chaos.
Whoa. The person working there was able to create that chaos
Yep.
with their negative
Most
energy?
of the time, poltergeist activity is not created by a ghost. It's created by deep, depressed, angry energy.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's wild.
Interesting.
That's fascinating. I want to go back for just 1 second.
I know, there's so much we could do.
Yeah, I know. to evil.
Evil, okay.
I want to go back to evil.
I know.
And the only reason I ask about evil is because I feel that in previous occupations in my life, which we don't have to go into detail about, I feel that I have confronted evil
Confronted it in what way?
in the person.
In a person?
In a person. In a person, in their deeds and their actions. And those deeds and actions.
Were
the-
harmful? They were harmful actions?
Absolutely. Yeah, they were harmful. They were harmful to me. They were harmful to others. And I come across individuals who, once again, you talk about intuition, you talk about things that you feel. I felt that they were just
You felt something about them.
evil.
Right, yes. So, yes, I agree with that.
You do agree with that
But I do agree.
on that level.
But I would say that a human's ego can be the most evil thing in a human. I have experienced possession. I've seen people possessed.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
saw
talking about-
somebody's
yeah.
eye color change right in front of me.
Wow.
And I've heard their voices change in front of me, but it's so rare. Only I can count them all on one hand for all these years that I've been doing this. So it's very rare that somebody, but if they do, that's because they're engaging in some really negative activity or drugs, or they're depressed, or they're super angry, or something. So for them to exhibit those evil features,
No.
you know,
and granted, these are
it's-
people. These are people who come across that would be diagnosed as sociopaths or psychopaths.
Sure,
Whatever
sure,
the case might be,
yeah.
whatever the extreme level of those definitions are.
Right.
But those are the types of people that I'm talking about.
right? And I don't. So what is the question? I'm not sure how to.
You say you didn't believe in evil per se, but I'm asking you that I feel like I've come across evil, and
Okay.
maybe that's the only word I had to describe it.
Right, because
there
it
another
felt
word?
so yucky to you.
Yeah.
I just, I'm always trying to lift the
I understand.
vibration of
I understand.
everything. So, yes, I've encountered some things that people might label as evil, but I just see them as very, very weak and low frequency. Low frequency means all they think about, they worry, they have anxiety, they've got fear, they're just caught up in that, and they're leading with the ego.
I'm catching on to this whole low
Are you?
frequency thing as
Okay.
far as belittling everything. As far as good, you belittle the demons with the low frequency. You're a low frequency consciousness. I believe the evil, the low frequency. You got issues. I dig it. I know you don't give them a life. That's great.
I don't want to give them an evil power.
And that's why they have like sound bathing and things. You want to keep your frequency
Yes.
high.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's. I want to shift. Guy, am I exhausting you?
Fine. No.
Okay. All right. Good. Because
I just feel like
Yes,
I
you
just feel
are.
like we need like 4 hours.
Oh, probably do. We probably need to have you back and just talk about other things.
Sure.
But one of the things that we wanted to get into this evening, which I found fascinating, was the remote viewing.
Yes.
And we're going to start right here at Echo Spirits because
Great.
Joe, who was it that said that they believe
Aoife.
Aoife, come over here for a second if you would, please.
Eva, come
Eva,
to the
come over
front,
here.
please.
Explain
Thank you.
to Cindy.
Chip, go ahead and give Aoife the mic.
Give her the mic.
Give the mic. Aoife, explain to Cindy what you believe,
thank you.
and
Oh,
then
thank you.
we will let her
Is it
do her
on?
thing and confirm or deny. Go ahead, Aoife.
First, introduce yourself.
What?
Aoife. Introduce yourself.
I was focused on the microphone. Excuse me.
Yes.
Listen,
First of all,
what
introduce
did you
yourself.
Experience.
Hi, I'm Aoife. So I've had a couple of experiences here in Echo. My boyfriend worked in this building before Echo even existed and likes to say that evil breeds in the back bathroom. I don't know what he's experienced.
Evil breeds?
Breeds in the back bathroom.
That was just me. Sorry about that.
But the one thing that I experienced, someone else has experienced with me, but it was just something being knocked over in the back.
Okay.
But like nothing too crazy.
I'm actually picking up on 2 spirits in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're in a.
Where's Derek Reno?
There are also
there-
smells.
Is
Someone
this
reported
the roof
smells.
right here? They're like up higher than I am.
This building, or I believe that this space used to be a nursing home.
Really?
Oh.
That's what I've been told.
Well, so you picking
So
anything
maybe
up
like
on that?
this is the roof, but this could have been.
Oh, it could have been another floor.
Yeah.
At some time. Yeah. So here's the thing.
All right. Thank you, Aoife.
Yeah, thanks. That's really. And I've been in the back bathroom, and I didn't sense anything.
Well, he's a little.
He's your boyfriend's a little.
Yeah, my boyfriend Clay's little. So you know, who's to
Well,
say?
Is Clay with us this evening?
Clay is not with us this evening. He might join later, but we'll see.
All right.
I'm looking to see what these things are that I'm picking up on.
Do your thing.
2 spirits. They look like spirits. Now, here's the thing. My clear guidance is do not identify them, do not talk to them, just get them home.
Get them home.
Yes.
So if
So
you're
my
saying they
ghost
exist,
busting work,
they haven't.
They haven't crossed
They
over.
haven't crossed over.
Right.
That is the right. That
They're
is the right
dead
term.
people that have not crossed over.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Now, sometimes people get stuck here between, here and the other side.
How? Why?
3 reasons that I've identified. One is they don't know they're dead because they died very suddenly.
Oh, wow.
The second reason is they are afraid they're going to go to hell because they did something wrong, so they think it's safer to stay here. And then the third reason is they think that something's unfinished, but there's never anything unfinished
Oh wow.
because everybody dies when they're supposed to.
Okay.
So that way I can help escort them to the other side, which I can do if you want me to or not. I would do, right. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's typical.
Keep them
Okay.
around.
All right. So now you said that people can give you an address
Yes. Yes.
and you can tell.
And I can identify if there's anything there.
All right. I will
Okay?
put.
Okay. You don't have
Don't
to.
come visit.
Do you want to write it
Yeah,
down?
I will write it down. Yeah. Let me
Let's, and if anybody.
let me write it down.
While
Let's have
he's
that.
writing it down, she a couple weeks ago I texted her my address. I go, oh yeah, do me, do me.
Yeah. He's always saying, do me.
And she goes, oh, I was surprised there weren't any spirits
there-
in your
yeah,
home.
there
There weren't
weren't.
any, which is going to make all of you frightened as you go home. Which I assume means that generally every location has a spirit, or more often than
Most of
not.
the time, yeah, I would say 98%
Do you
of the
need a
time.
zip code?
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give it to you anyway, just in case.
Okay. Because the home at the time that I looked at it had a high enough frequency that nobody was, other spirits weren't interested. That doesn't mean that they don't like you. It just means that they're not attracted to any activity going on.
And that
that
just seems
that
so
sounds
wrong.
like
As
my
much as
wife.
he loves Halloween, that that it seems unfair that he wouldn't have spirits.
No, my wife doesn't
his
want to be
house.
there either.
All right.
Cindy, it's all right.
All right. No outside influence on this one.
Okay. Now, I should talk about remote viewing for a moment.
Yes,
because-
please explain it.
Because it is the ability to project your consciousness to another place or even another time. So I had a very intense training with David Morehouse, who is a former CIA psychic spy in our government.
Like men who stare at goats?
Yes, like men who stare at goats. Yeah, remote viewing.
Remote viewing.
Yeah, and we learned how to tap into other places, so it's super easy. So I'm looking at your address.
For you, maybe.
Actually, most of this is easy if you just believe you can do it.
Okay.
I always say it's 85% confidence. Okay. Take me to this address. Make sure I'm disconnected from everything else. Take me to this address. Okay. I see it, and I'm going to. Now, this might sound strange, but every location has a guardian spirit. Like every house has a guardian spirit.
Okay.
Even cars do. So the guardian spirit, I'm asking, are there any spirits, discarnates, consciousnesses, or entities? There's just one. There's just one at this address.
That's
Now, let me find out if it is benign or if it is a problem. Now, it's always a problem because spirits don't need to be here. And typically I would clear them. No, I'm not gonna.
Hang on,
I mean, I can do that remotely later. I can do it later.
And I'm gonna write the guy's name down that you think it is, and then we'll reveal whether it's the same person or not.
I can't tell you.
Okay,
who
never
it is.
mind.
No,
All right,
no,
all right,
no.
never mind.
I don't do
That was
that.
cool. That would have been a cool trick, Greg.
Yeah, almost.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I know. I know that's not very
No, that's
entertaining,
cool.
but
No. It's true.
I'm
It's-
very
it's-
respectful to
I
the
appreciate
spirits. Okay, so this spirit is in fact a discarnate human who is pretty benign and not really bothering you.
No, and that matches up to previous individuals who have sensed
really?
a benign. They've gone so far as to say it is the original owner of the home.
Okay, I can't confirm or deny
Yeah,
that.
I
now that
don't
you have
expect you to.
said that,
I know. I understand. I'm just telling you what other people said, that he's not a problem.
no,
In fact,
but he shouldn't be here, really.
maybe he really likes the house.
I think he likes you.
Maybe he likes me.
Maybe he likes you.
Well, it's according to the and again, this is years ago. People that said something that's like he would get up. He was a very social person, and I'm a very social person, and I used to have a lot of social gatherings in my home. Not as many as I used to, but back in the day, weekly there'd be people over at my house on a regular basis, and he loved that. And when it stopped, that's when he would make a ruckus.
Oh, really?
He would make a ruckus when there wasn't social activity going on.
I have a
We're
question.
talking about Bill, right?
But talking about Bill, yeah.
What Bill?
Oh, geez,
That's the
we
name I
named
wrote
him.
down.
Okay.
There he is.
As soon
Congratulations.
as somebody has a name for him, I'm like, oh boy, now there's an attachment, and I don't know if they're going to let me
sorry.
clear. No, it's okay. Do you know if he was a smoker?
Yes, he was.
Because that may be part of the reason you can't quit smoking.
It's
Because-
Bill's fault.
Oh, Bill!
Bill's
Well,
fault.
Blame Bill.
Oh, Bill.
Might be, but he's not attached to you, because that's another thing. People can have spirits attached to them, and that can drain your energy and make you make decisions that aren't really yours. Not like full on possession, but it's an influence. Does that make sense?
Well, from what I understand, again, I don't mean to influence you. I'm just talking about what other people have said. That
Yeah.
Bill was a very social
Okay.
person. He drank, he smoked, and he liked people in his house. And the times that there's been disturbances is when the house is empty
and quiet. Yeah.
for long periods of time.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is fascinating. Because I do believe, I don't know if I believe in ghosts per se.
What do you mean by ghosts?
I don't know. What do I mean by ghosts? I believe in energies.
Okay.
I believe in energies, and I believe in that type of activity. But are they ghosts? Are they spirits? Are they?
Depends on your definition.
What's the proper terminology?
A person who is dead that is stuck here, I would call a ghost.
A ghost? Okay.
But then there are also the ghosts that people see that are really just apparitions. They're an echo of something that happened. What do we got here?
We have one more. We have another address.
This is John Whitney, our video producer. His address. Now he's got an old house in Clintonville, very similar to yours, Dino. You know, you wonder if it's an old home. Of course, there's got to be.
Take me to this.
Something clunking
So here's
around.
how I remote view. I just say, take me to this address, and I just see it in my mind's eye, like you saw your kitchen. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can I describe every single object in your house? Probably not.
I left you a note.
You did.
No, I did not. I'm sorry. I did not. Sorry, I did not.
I saw a plate with cookies and a glass of milk.
Well, cookies.
That's for
maybe.
Santa. Okay. Okay. I'm picking up 2 spirits in this location.
Two.
Now, does anybody want to know if they have anything attached to them?
Do you?
No, actually, no. I didn't know there was maybe 2 spirits in there. I haven't named anything.
No, please don't name them.
No, of course not.
No,
What you seem very apprehensive when the names pop up. Why?
because that starts to create a relationship. That starts to create a connection.
For you
No,
or for me
for
or for
the
them?
person who lives in the house.
I already feel I
So
have a relationship.
you
with
have a relationship
I
with
already feel
Bill.
I have a relationship with Bill.
So,
I've told Bill to shut the hell up.
You go way back.
I've told Bill to stop banging the cupboard doors when I was trying to sleep.
Wow.
And he stopped.
Yeah, right. Oh,
No.
and he did.
Yeah,
Good.
he
Now,
did.
hold
Good.
on a second, Cindy. You kind of skipped right over me here.
Yeah, is that? I wonder that's like
We're
a
coming
bad
back to
sign.
you. We're coming back to you. You said you didn't want to know the names.
Oh, I
Or
don't
not the
need to
names,
know the
but you know,
names.
you-
I never named them. I never heard them before at all. So.
Are you concerned about the 2 spirits?
No.
He doesn't. He didn't know that there were any.
I didn't
there
know
was-
they were
I'm
there.
concerned that she skipped right over you. Like there's something.
It's like she
exciting.
totally went, oh, I'm moving on from here.
Yeah, one might say
They're not.
evil.
They're not a big deal. I
Number
can
9.
actually see
Okay.
these 2.
Did the ones making his
Well,
toilet not flush?
let's find out if they're benign.
Oh, I usually don't do this, but they're children, and it's a boy and a girl, and I think they're brother and sister, and they died in some like accident or something. So they ought to be crossed over, and I'll take care of that later. I'll take care of it later. What?
That's my wife.
That's
She
his
lives in the
wife over
same
there.
house
She's
as mine.
freaking out.
As Jen right now.
She's not sleeping at home tonight.
Okay, so what?
Well, there was when we first moved into the house.
Chip, Mike.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Right here. I'm
Mike.
right here.
When we first moved into the house, there's a laundry chute in the bathroom, and it kept popping open. And,
That's right. I forgot about that.
And I thought to myself, either I don't know how to close it properly, or there's a ghost in the house. I figured it's a 100-year-old house. There's a good chance. So after about a month, I just said out loud, I said, please stop opening the door. We have a cat. I'm afraid the cat's going to jump down and hurt herself. And it never happened after that.
Right. Good.
Yes.
You
And
are the
I can say-
homeowner.
I can say that the lock actually did work, and this is true.
Okay, so you're the homeowner. You decide, and you can tell these spirits.
I told Bill to stop banging the cupboards.
Stop banging the cupboards.
Yeah.
And he did. And stop opening the laundry chute. Because you're the homeowner. So
But Jen, there's a fact that it's
goosebumps all over.
The fact that it's 2 children freak you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Creepy.
They're
I don't know
very-
why.
they're harmless.
I don't know why. It just seems like children spirits, especially around Halloween, seem
why are they creepier?
it seems
Extra
creepier.
spooky.
I don't know. But I think they seem creepier because they were cheated, shortened.
Yeah.
What if there were 2 twins, and then,
And then there was-
a river of blood would appear behind them?
Singing
And
nursery rhymes.
Too many.
That's what I'm
Too
saying,
many
Stanley.
movies have the creepy little twin
All right,
girls.
we're running out of time, and before we do so, I would like to give the audience one more opportunity for questions before we all
I know Doug's got one right over here. Doug
say
and Renee.
goodnight tonight.
Oh,
and
it
a big
does?
thank you to everybody
Doug, raise your hand.
involved.
So we've lived in our house for almost 18 years, and the spare bedroom that it's pretty much unused except for it's her office during the day, but no one ever sleeps in there. All the time, 3-4 nights a week, it sounds like someone's walking around in that room. And that has happened since the first year we lived there. And we've always just dismissed it as whatever, we never pay much attention to it.
Well, if I had the address, and you don't need to say it out loud, could you write it down?
Yeah, he
And I'll
can
have a
write it
look.
down. Let's get him some
All right,
paper.
while he's writing that down, does anybody else have another question?
That is very interesting. Now, one thing I wanted to say is that one night I heard someone walking in the hallway of my house, stopped right at the door, and then I sort of like woke up from, I thought I was awake when I was hearing that, but then I sort of woke up from something. Like I must have been dreaming it because there was nobody there and I was not situated on the bed like I thought I was. So I was having an out-of-body experience and I was hearing the sound as though it was real because I think we do dream sounds. Why would we just dream pictures when we can dream sound? So I don't really believe there was a spirit walking in my house, even though my house is 124 years old.
All right, one other question right here.
Okay. Yes.
Do you think spirit guides interact with each other?
Yes. You mean yours and someone else's?
Yes.
Yes, I do believe they do.
They team up?
I believe that, like even if you're praying for someone, I believe their guides can interact with their guides. Absolutely. Yes. This one? Okay. Oh.
You're out of toilet paper.
This, did you move, so the house was built when you moved in, or you built it?
We're the second owner, so the original
You're the
owner
second
was there for
owners?
about 25 years before we moved in.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing that as an elderly woman in the house. I got that. I saw that very clearly. And she just looks like someone you would see in a nursing home, or she's elderly. So that probably ought to be cleared. I should have these addresses so I can take them with
I'll
me.
let you keep the scrap paper there.
Yeah, so I can clear them later, and I will clear it.
Do you
And
want
then
it? You want it
you can-
cleared?
Yes.
I think it would help them if it, like, I think it would help the spirit if it was clear.
Yes, it
I think
will
would
help the spirit.
Right.
if it was
It
cleared
always
correctly.
helps the spirit.
Do you ever talk to a spirit and they go, no, I want to stay. I like this.
Oh yeah,
Do you
but
think-
I make them go.
Do you think I should? You think I should clear my guy and let him go?
It's up to you. I don't want you to lose your buddy.
Bill.
You love
It's not a healthy relationship. You're better off having to be
Because
buddies with Lyle.
he's making me smoke more.
He might be.
Yeah.
Now there is one thing there are a couple of things that I think are very important to say
please
about
do.
any kind of spirit activity. First of all, you're going to attract it if you are going to ghost hunts, if you are watching ghost hunting shows, if you are engaging in drugs or alcohol. Sorry.
Well, which is what Dino was saying earlier. Like, I'm into all of that, and I don't have any
Yeah, I know.
spirits. They still
I like
don't
the
want to
sex,
hang out
drugs,
with
and
me.
rock and roll.
They
I
just-
think they know something that we've been trying to tell you for a long time.
But I'm Catholic. I pray the rosary. I have things. Does
Right.
that keep the
Yes,
things at
it does.
bay?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
I
Yeah.
have other.
And if you
crystals
encounter
and-
something, if you hear something in your home, if you see something in the bathroom, if you encounter something, ask it, are you from the light? Because if it isn't, it just leaves.
Get out of here.
That's the easiest way to.
That's it. You just say it's from the light. And
all I have to do.
That's all you
All
gotta
right.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a question right here.
Yes.
I have a question about animals. Do you think that animals have any special intuition or
Absolutely.
spiritual guides?
Yes. Because they don't have the capacity to think and discern and judge like we do. They don't have an ego. So they're like wide open to intuition. Because it's our ego that blocks that. So yeah, cats are very intuitive. Dogs, people say my dog was just barking at the corner of the room. Yeah, there was something there.
And can if there's a belief in ghosts, and people sometimes see ghosts. I have a friend who claims to have seen ghost animals in my house as well.
Yes.
He saw a white cat jump off my couch, and he's one of these people who's very intuitive and believes that he has the same gifts that you
Yeah.
have, and he goes, "Oh man, I just saw a white cat jump off your couch."
Wow. Did you ever have a white cat? Or
I did.
You did?
1,000 years ago, I did have a white cat named Watson. Yes.
Wow.
In that house?
No, not in my
Yeah.
house. No, not in that house. No, not in that house. Not
A
in
lot
that
of
house.
people with deceased pets can see their pets or hear their little thing on their collar.
Right.
Yeah,
I
that happens a
I
lot.
dream about Harriet. Whoa,
Yeah.
Harriet was good. I loved Harriet. Harriet was
Oh,
good.
absolutely. We haven't even gotten into fairies and that kind of stuff. But,
Oh no, that's for another podcast. We're gonna get into that for sure.
We have
There's
a lot-
definitely-
there's
you're
a-
definitely coming back to whiskey
Okay,
business
great.
before it's
Thank
all
you.
said and done.
Thank you.
Yeah, for something
But,
more in depth.
you know, try to keep your frequency up by being positive and healthy, you know, doing healthy things. Ask anything that you encounter, are you from the light? And that should weed them out.
So before we go, what is you kind of started on that path as far as good advice? What would you share to our live audience here and to those people listening and watching later on YouTube and wherever you get your favorite podcast? What good, solid advice could you leave us with as we move forward into this particular realm of the world?
There is no spirit consciousness that has more power than you, that has more power than a human, unless you believe it does. And then it can harm you, because whatever we believe is true. But the truth is, a spirit does not have more power to harm you or manipulate you than you have. We're the ones with. Okay, what was that?
There's one now.
Yeah, holy moly.
Somebody objects.
Damn.
Is that a real cat or a spirit?
It's a real cat.
It's a real cat.
Right. Spirits don't have
General.
enough strength to harm you unless you believe they do. So if you're
power is in
afraid,
belief, right?
and fear will attract low frequency / evil spirits.
Interesting. 3 books available here tonight. And of course, for those of you listening and watching at home, Buddha Speaks, Messages from an Ascended Master. We also have Vishnu Speaks, Messages of Enlightenment from the Ancient Deity right here. And the most recent one, that's a whole new word in the dictionary that I think Webster's or somebody should adapt. Commandifestation. Commanding manifestation, all written sincerely and passionately by our guest tonight, Cindy Riggs. So a nice round of applause for Cindy.
Thank you.
And everything.
Thank you.
Before we go,
Dina, real quick.
there you have coasters on your table that tell you all about Cindy, how you can get a hold of her. But
got
tell,
my
tell,
website
tell
on
our
it.
audience as well how to get.
Yeah, cindyriggs.com. If you didn't get a coaster, there should be one on your table or on the bar there. That just has my website on it, and all of the information is there.
And
Just real quick.
I also have a podcast myself.
So what is
your podcast?
It's called From Beyond, Interviewing Spirits, Channeling Insight.
I just want to say
I have
that
flyers up here, too.
I just want to say that Cindy and I worked together many moons ago in a past
Yes.
life. She was in production, and she always was super nice to me. And you
Aw.
haven't changed, Cindy.
You
I'm
haven't
glad we're
either.
very
Very
sweet.
Yeah, me too. I worked
Thank
with
you.
John and Cindy actually in production, and I always have fond
Long
memories.
time ago.
Aw,
And
thanks,
Cindy
guys.
seems to think that we met in the 80s, but
We did, and I just don't remember where.
Yeah, it's a
but-
blur for
Well,
me
it was
too,
the
baby.
80s.
I don't know. I don't remember. But thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank
tonight.
you
This was
so much for
amazing.
having me.
Would you come back?
Of
'Cause
course,
There's so
of
many
course. There's
other
so much
questions
more to
and
talk
so
about.
many deeper things I want to get
Yes.
into
Okay.
because I find it all fascinating,
It is fascinating.
educational, whether I completely believe or not. And I think those of you who are skeptics, open up your minds a little bit and at least listen.
Just
You don't have-
entertain
you don't have
it.
to- you don't have to adapt and own it and
No.
all of a sudden believe in it, but to learn. I think
Right.
education is huge.
Right. I was skeptical at first.
Right, you didn't-
until
this
this
didn't-
stuff happened to me.
I mean, up till you were 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of a sudden this pops into your life.
Right.
someone recently said, if it's not hurting anybody, let them do it.
Right. That's right. I agree.
A nice round of applause for Cindy Riggs, please, one more time. And also, before you leave, there's only so many bottles available. So please, how many
99,
bottles? How many
someone bought
bottles of
one.
the one we just tried? Yeah, 100 bottles. So be the first kids on your block to pick up one of the bottles from Echo Spirits. Tip. I mentioned it earlier. I was going to say it again. Tip your bar staff before you leave this evening. A big round of applause for Joe and Nikhil at Echo Spirits for hosting what I think has been one of the most fascinating, interesting, and entertaining Halloween episodes live we've had with an audience ever. Thank you so much for that gift. We appreciate it. All right, my name is Dino Tripodis. Thank you to Chip Cosell back there, John Whitney over there, Greg Hansberry. My name is Dino Tripodis. Until the next bottle.